Hey, what's up, everybody? The Florence Trucker here, coming to you from Cincinnati, Ohio. It's been a couple months since I did a video, so let me apologize in advance. A lot has gone down since the last time I had a video. I'll start by telling you I no longer work for Rail, and I'm going to give you the story behind that. January 18th, take you back to January 18th. I was in an accident with my truck. Not a super serious one, but I was making a left-hand turn coming off the freeway. I was in the far right lane for a left-hand turn, as far as I could go over, and there was a shoulder to my right. So when I started to make the turn, a car came up on my right shoulder and cut me off as I was making my turn, because I still had to turn wide. He cut me off, and instead of stopping the truck like I should have done, I overcorrected by turning hard left to avoid him, and I hit the car next to me. I messed that car up pretty bad. All I did was take out one of the lights on my trailer, but I did what I was supposed to do. I pulled over to the side. I went to render aid because initially I thought she might need it. She was fine. The lady I hit, she was fine. She was pretty freaked out, but she was okay. No ambulance or anything like that. Got the police out there. They did their report. I wasn't even cited for the accident. So I did what I was supposed to do. Called Rail, gave them all the information, and went on about my day after that. So left that accident after it was over, heading out to Gary to pick up a relay. So for about a week, had to wait for safety to do their own investigation after they get the police report. So for about a week, just went on about my business, seeing what was going on, what was going to happen. And then a week later, safety called me back to say that they determined that I was at fault in their eyes. It was preventable, and I needed to go through additional training. I was going to get a PIP. Okay. So my additional training consisted of, I had to go back to Gary. I had to do 20 minutes on the simulator at Gary, doing left-hand turns. Okay. So I did that, and then I had to go through the railway class. And that's, if you guys don't know what it is, it's a class you get when you actually first get there. It's a 4-hour PowerPoint class on the right way to do things with rail. Okay. I'll take a PIP and correction when it's my fault and I've done something wrong, which in this case, Rail determined I had. So, okay, so no big deal there. So the day that I did the railway class, this was about 2 weeks after the accident. That same day, my fleet manager called me and said, "Hey, we have a new truck for you. We sold 2969. That was the gray truck I had been driving. They sold it, and I needed to head up to Marshfield, pick up a relay load from Gary, head up to Marshfield, and sign for this new truck." Okay. Picked up the relay load as soon as I was done in Gary. Switched out the trailer. I was carrying an empty at the time. Dropped my empty. Picked up the relay trailer that was loaded and headed up towards Gary. About 2 hours into that trip, I got a phone call from safety saying that the trailer I'd left behind had an enormous hole in the top of it, and that I'd done something to damage it. I can't say that I had. I carry steel coils, and there isn't anything on those coils that would have put a hole in that truck. I don't remember seeing a hole in the truck when I did the inspection on it. So that was a second PIP coming. I said, okay, that was another PIP. There wasn't a lot I could do about that. If I knew the trailer got damaged, I would have said something. Okay, fine. So got up to Marshfield. It was about 18 degrees that night. I got up there about 7 o'clock at night, and they handed me the keys to a 2020 International LX 1000. It had about 88,000 miles on it. Nice truck. So I spent the next 4 hours moving my personal items over from the truck. Then I slept for a few hours, and I got back up at about 5 the next morning. I spent another hour finishing moving over the securement, the chains, the tie downs, everything like that. When it was all said and done, all I had left were 10 extra straps that were not part of my inventory because they were part of the load I brought over. So I went in, I took the keys into the management office at Marshfield, and the manager said, "Is everything out of the truck?" I said, "No, there's still 10 straps in there from the previous load. What would you like me to do with them?" He's like, "Take them up over to the securement office and drop them off. All securement has to be downloaded." I said, "Okay." So I took the keys back. I drove the truck right around the corner to the building, dropped off 10 straps at the securement office. Was there for about 20 minutes. I was shooting the breeze with the guy there. He was telling me about a new truck he was rebuilding. He was pretty excited about it, and I like hearing about rebuilds. So dropped that off, shot the breeze with him, brought the truck back around to the corner, parked it, dropped my keys off with parts where I was told to drop them off, hooked up to the new load in Marshfield on a relay to Gary, and left. 2 hours into that, I got an angry call from my fleet manager saying, "You did not follow my instructions. I told you to download everything off the truck." Okay. I said, "What are you talking about? What wasn't downloaded?" And she said, "I don't know. We just got a call from the Marshfield manager saying that you left stuff on the truck and they're now having to download it." I said, "What stuff was left on the truck?" And she said, "I don't know." I said, "Can you call back and find out? Because I didn't leave anything on that truck." I said, "I can prove I left nothing on that truck." So she hung up. I got a call back an hour later, and she said, "Because you failed to follow our directions, you're getting a PIP, a third PIP." And I was scheduled to have my wife ride with me in 2 days, and they said, "We're nixing that. Your wife can no longer ride with you." At this point, I'm frustrated. I said, "Okay." I'm pulling over and I'm taking a picture of all my securement. I have all my securement. It matches my inventory. I'm taking a picture and sending it to you. And she's like, "No, we don't need that. That's not necessary." I said, "Did you call back to the manager to find out what was left on board?" They said yes. I said, "What did they say was left on board?" They didn't know. She said, "We don't know what was left on board. We just know stuff was left on board." I said, "You're telling me I'm getting a PIP from a manager who says I left stuff on the truck, even though I left securement on the truck, even though I can prove I didn't leave securement on the truck, and I'm getting a PIP for it?" She said, "Yes." I said, "So you're taking the manager's word over mine, even though I can provide proof, and he can't even tell you what was taken off the truck that his guys took off?" And they said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, that's it." So I finished the load, took it to Gary, called my wife in Florence, and I said, "Come get me." So I didn't have to abandon the truck where they'd have to recover it. I took it to Gary. My wife drove 4 hours up there to get me. We emptied the truck. I turned in the paperwork for the relay load to the relay board, dropped my keys off, and I quit. Why did I quit? Well, because I'll take a punishment when I've earned it. When I've done something wrong, I'll be the first to admit I've made a mistake. I've did it for many years in the military, learned how to take accountability. What I won't do is work for a company, a group of people who will tell me I lied and then punish me for it when I can prove that that didn't happen. Okay, and they couldn't prove that it didn't. They didn't even know what they had removed from the truck, but they can sure say that stuff was removed. So after I left, about a week later, I got the letter from Rail. They withheld half of my last paycheck, and they sent me a letter for $6,600, a debt for $6,600, saying I had until February 20th to pay it or it would go to collection. I didn't have $6,600. So the day came and went, and I started getting calls from collection. So I shot off a letter to Rick Rail. I wrote down, I typed everything that happened. And keep in mind that Rail tells you the first day that they record all phone calls between fleet managers, drivers, etc. I laid out everything that happened to him, and I told him, I said, "I don't expect a reply from you. I don't even expect you to look into this. But if you're serious about driver retention in 2021, you need to fix your managers and hold them just as accountable as you do the drivers. I know Rick read it. He didn't reply, but I know he read it because 2.5 weeks after I mailed that letter, the collection calls stopped. It didn't show up on my credit report. It's now almost May. It still hasn't shown up on my credit report. No calls have been made. And when I called the credit collection agency back to see about if I need to set up payment arrangements, they had no information on a debt for me. That tells me that Rick must have looked into it, or somebody did, listened to the calls, found I was justified or something, and decided not to charge me the debt. So 2 weeks after that, I got hired on with Melton Truck Lines, and I was going to go work with them in Oklahoma. I had to go to Oklahoma City for 2 weeks for training with them. And I was set up to do that, and then some stuff went down with my family. Long story. It bore the hell out of you. But I couldn't go to Melton. Then I had a medical issue come up, something I've been dealing with my back for a long time because I'm disabled. And now I'm on legal marijuana supplements, which takes me out of the running to be a driver. I can no longer drive a truck because you're not even allowed to take legal marijuana supplements as a truck driver. So, as of right now, I'm just working odd jobs. I'm not driving anymore. And I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to go from here with my CDL. Would I still recommend rail? Yes, I would. A failure of one person shouldn't destroy the company and the reputation of the company. And I don't have any hard feelings with rail. I do with the fleet, the general manager at Marshfield. You come across him, he's shady. He straight lied out of his teeth about me, and I'm not even sure why, but he did. So take that for what it's worth. Like I said, would I still recommend rail? Absolutely, I would. Especially if you're a new driver, get out there, get with them. I had a great experience with them. I wish I was still with them. Met a lot of good people, but the experience made it so I will not work with a company that can't trust me. So if I'm able to get back on with another company, I'll let you guys know. But until then, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, take care of yourself.